Hello everyone, many fish. Thanks for clicking. We're back at NASA. NASA, in my view, is incredibly important to be exposed, not for the sake of exposing them as an organization of men and women and flesh, but as an entity that operates just beneath the veil of deceit that encompasses the earth. Those of you who have no idea what I'm referring to would be well advised to leave this video, and if you are truly seeking the truth, go and start to investigate NASA. Look into their history, not according to themselves. I would not recommend that you go to the NASA About page to figure out exactly what they're all about. What I'm presenting to you is court admissible evidence that this organization, which is of course directly tied to governments not only in the United States but globally, as well as all the supposed global space programs. This is a very, very deep, huge, yes, conspiracy. So if you're not prepared to understand the depths of what I'm trying to show you, you're going to have to go and do a little research to catch up to speed. If you're not seeking the truth, you're not going to see or hear what I'm telling you. You simply must be humbly seeking the truth. That being said, NASA. Now, why would NASA go so deep to hide their counsel, to hide the truth? Well, there are many, many reasons, again, which would be court admissible. However, the mere fact that we can point out the depth of the deception simply through the images that they provide us. We go to any given page of NASA, and you can quite literally choose any page. My particular niche, if you will, as of late, has been their series of nebula images, primarily taken with the Hubble Space Telescope, which has been in service for 20 years now. And they give us these various images of what they claim to be out in space. Now you have to understand, I am in no way saying that these things are not out there. They may very well be. But you have to remember, we're talking about an organization that, as recent as late 2016, openly, in more than one occasion, which I will post a link in the video, where they admit and tell you straight to the camera and to all of humanity that they have never sent men in spacecraft beyond low Earth orbit. That is just a fact, and there's no more discussion about it. Go and watch the video. That being said, after doing a little searching around just on some history myself, because I don't want to mislead one single solitary soul into some abyss of my little treasure hunting in these images, because that is not why this channel is here. I don't show you these things in order to get views, to get accolades, to get any kind of attention. I hate attention. Leave me alone. What I want is for you to understand the depths of the deception that you are living under. And it's not just NASA. So today, I did not click through very many of these nebulas, and I typically will have something literally jump right out at me, and that's what happened on this particular one. It's a very, very interesting image. And we have the description of said image here. It's quite detailed. There is some language in here that we could follow down a path that would lead us to, their little esoteric tricks and secrets they like to throw around. Basically, just to keep practiced up on their work, if you will, their practice, their dark magic is essentially what it is. But I did find in this description really just one term that I particularly want you to remember. It's important that you understand the language. You don't have to understand it all, but you have to at least get the gist of it. Right here in this sentence, nestled inside this dense structure are fledgling stars. These are the things that you need to look for. Sure, I mean, that's a normal word, fledgling, but what is a fledgling? It's a baby bird, a young bird. Well, it just so happens the fledgling is a novel. It is a young bird who's only recently left its nest, but still depends on the care of the parent. That is what a fledge is. But fledgling is a novel. This was the first result in many searches that I come to. And what is the fledgling novel? Well, it's a novel about a species of humanoids or what have you. I didn't read the book, but they are nocturnal, long-lived, and derive sustenance by drinking human blood. Okay? And we'll just kind of leave that at that point. And once again, this is nothing more than another of the millions of holes and rabbit trails and Scooby-Doo mysteries that you can follow for a lifetime. And many have. And thank God for them, because they've led the rest of us to deeper understanding. So they'll never, ever be working in vain. God bless them. So back to NASA. We're back. We're over here at this Carina Nebula. We get infrared visions. This telescope gives us all kinds of wonderful things. So I do my usual thing, and I pull the image into my little editor here. And as per usual, I start to do a little flipping, and all I do is change hue and contrast. In this particular one here, as you can see from the original version that I pulled, I have not done anything to it yet. There's been nothing done to this image as of yet. This is their Carina Nebula. Well, I don't know what else to say other than wow. Immediately, my eye was drawn to what most likely is intended for your eye to be drawn to. However, when they give you this elaborate description, they pull your attention intentionally away from certain things. They're very, very cunning. This is not a human mind at work here. I would bring your attention to that center focal point, and working from there, you will come down the bridge of the nose, under the chin, down to the neck, top of the head, ear, back of the head, horn, rest of the body, the leg sticking out. And what I'm showing you is the image of a goat, right down to the billy goat beard. It's there. No one can tell me that it isn't. And hopefully you see it, because when you see these things, it is a direct indication that you, in fact, have the eyes to see. And I hope my words that you're hearing are also helping you to seek deeper for the truth as to why this race of beings we belong to is in the condition that it's in, why we are here, how we got here, what the purpose is, all of it. These are the mysteries of all time. And I'm not going to get into how I came to know these things. I am definitely a believer in Christ Jesus, Yeshua. He is my Savior. He was God in the flesh. This is something that I have looked into and researched for quite a few years, actually. And I've gone down all the paths of the esoteric world, trying to find answers, exposing Illuminati things in my own time, and understanding that there's so much more going on just beneath a smoky haze, just behind a thin veil, that once you pull that veil back and see the depths of this deception, how it encompasses virtually every aspect of human life, in everything that we experience in our senses, things we see and hear and smell, taste, and touch, that we accept as truth. And there is an underlying deception designed specifically to keep you from that truth. And the truth is that there is a creator God. He tells everything that you need to know in a book called the Holy Bible. There are many extra biblical texts that really can aid in your understanding, but stick with that King James and keep seeking, because he will lead you to the truth. Back to the image. There's a goat. It's there, and I would challenge anyone to tell me that it isn't. Period. Now, I can go in and I can do all kinds of various changing. We'll simply do a black and white, which helps to bring it out more. We can do contrast. We can do all number of things on these images to help pull these out a little bit better. The black and white seems to help. If anyone wants to tell me what seems to help them see these things, let me know. But there's your goat. I mean, he's there. End of discussion. And the reason why it's there is merely to hide from you what their plan is, how they exist and move amongst us in plain view. And those that have hidden these things from us, they work for that dark spirit. That spirit has tempted and deceived them into believing that because they do his bidding, they are bestowed with riches and all the human fleshly desires. Basically, that's all it truly boils down to. And they're hiding God, because that space does not exist in the way that we believe it does. There is much, much more than we're being told. And if that isn't becoming blatantly evident to people, then I would simply say they do not want to know the truth. And that's all I can really I can't really say anymore. It's become just painfully obvious. So we have a goat. Why would we have a goat laying on a man's head? So we have the goat, and the goat is seemingly being carried, if you will, by the man. And ironically enough, it's when as soon as I typed into search engine man carrying goat, I come up with this man carrying a sheep. All these things are very intricately connected, and they all have a message to them, which typically we as researchers who find these things tend to follow these clues like this, to follow these blatant messages. But that's not my intention. We will do that, but not today. Today, it's just imperative that you understand the depths to which they will go to deceive you. Because once you really get that, you begin to understand that this world is nothing that you believe it to be. Quite literally, nothing that you believe it to be. So we have a goat being carried by what appears to be a man. I think we're all in agreement up to that point. Now, the fledgling that I mentioned earlier, it just so happens to be a fledgling owl in this image. Now, you can try and deny this if you like. You're more than welcome to. But I present to you that, my friends, is what you would call a fledgling owl. That's what it is. Period. Why do they do this? I mean, why? Is it just for kicks? Do they have a whole staff of Photoshop pros that go in and create these images? Which, let's not forget, this is being presented to us very extravagantly in a myriad of ways at a very large cost of money and resources and human power. And I mean, this is a great deal of lengths to go to present us with an image that portrays a goat being carried by a man with a fledgling owl right on his head, under the goat's chin, nestled in the goat's billy goat beard. It is there. It's undeniable. I'm not trying to prove anything as far as these images being here. They're there. My absolute purpose is to get you to think about, why are they there? Yes, but to what lengths? We're talking about the authority globally, and their tentacles run so deep into every aspect of government globally. The resources and funds that go towards these endeavors. And this is just one section of their, deceptive little world. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely amazing. And you can just go deeper and deeper and deeper. I would challenge you to look right in here, right beneath his eye. You can say what you like. But do you see this guy? Let me get rid of this layer here, and I'll show you his little eyes, little cheek accents his nose, and they've kind of like distorted the mouth a little bit, but it's there. It's the top of his head. It's like a big, brawny shoulder, and he's some sort of Viking-type looking dude. You can see him pretty good there. What we do is get rid of the... There, you can see him really good now. Right there. There's his face and his head. That's his beard. His mouth is kind of just cocked a little bit. Eye, nose. And his big shoulders and body just kind of blend into the goat's neck. Why are they going to these lengths? You have to ask yourself. I mean, this is pretty elaborate. I think you'd agree. And if you don't agree, well, I don't know what to tell you. But if you don't see a goat on a man's head and a fledgling owl, oh gosh, I just don't know what to say to you. Pretty amazing. If you really think about it, this is quite stunning, really. You know? Absolutely amazing. And I hope that it helps someone, somewhere, understand the depths of the deception that they live under, and that they can do something about it as far as your eternal soul, as far as your future as a human being. It's important to me that I get this out and show people, because I have to. It's something I have to do. There you have it. That's one image of what's known as the Carina Nebula. And we could even go deeper, because there's more. What I'm showing you are just the obvious things. You have a goat on a man's head with a fledgling owl in between them, and what I can only describe as a Viking-type warrior. This all tells a story, but you need to understand first and foremost that it's there, and it's being presented to you as a factual place, an actual image of deep space where entire galaxies are being born and created. Well, I guess it depends on what your definition of a galaxy is, really, because these are some weird galaxies. I'd appreciate comments, likes, shares, and subscribes, you guys. This info's got to get out to people. And tips how I can present this better. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Seek the truth. There are many fish. Peace and grace.
But have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay,